Gamer Type Originals.
It's time for something brief. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is really damn fun. Based on the Battle Royale Arma 3 game mode crafted by the titular mod maker with no small help from the Hunger Games, PUBG sends 100 players to an Eastern European-themed archipelago to duke it out until one player remains. Your results may vary, but my adventures often found me dead, but back again and again. To become a PUBG champion, you need to understand the game's 3 stages. The first, land. You start with the clothes on your back, a parachute, and a map. Your match's sentry is loaded in a big plane, and with the press of a button, it's time to hop out, land, and scour the abandoned countryside for loot, while praying you don't get nailed by a faster player. You'll cobble together a makeshift inventory of armor and weaponry, including shirts, pants, a variety of guns and helpful mods, as well as healing utensils, but only if you're lucky. The best equipped players won't stop at one villa or apartment complex. They'll need to keep moving, hopping on and on to gather as much of the best gear as possible. Second stage, move. The large map is a pleasant, authentic feeling landscape of rolling hills, small towns, and large open fields. It's also the tensest non-horror game I've ever played. There's simply nothing like fleeing a spray of random bullets or desperately running toward another group of buildings to wind up with something better than a motorcycle helmet and a stun grenade. You'll also need to deal with the game's random air bombings. Since these matches could theoretically play out for hours or days as the final players seek each other out, the map creates a play zone that shrinks in waves as the match progresses. Staying outside the play zone, on the other side of a glowing blue barrier, will eventually kill you. The play zone is randomly drawn from match to match, and you'll need to be wary of where you land, lest you be left behind. Finding a car to get across this map is not the easiest task. In a huge way for those used to the auto-aim or gameplay assistance of the typical modern shooter, Battlegrounds feels like a throwback to the hoary days of Tom Clancy's original Ghost Recon games. Here you can hide in the world's thick vegetation and rolling hills, but get cut down by an unseen opponent just as easily. Since your job is to wind up as the last player on the map, you better pray to the RNG gods and act with a patient heart, or you'll end up dead over and over. Speaking of which, that final stage, kill. Winding up in the top 10 is an exercise in either extreme skill or patience, and lacking the former, I relied heavily on the latter. Getting around a map this big discreetly with only 99 other opponents isn't too hard if you stay away from the villages and open plains. Unlike other games, you'll quickly find that camping out is a valid survival strategy here. Seriously, find a structure in the play zone, keep all the doors closed to shake the opponent's notion that you've already plundered these buildings, or don't, then lie in wait for them to make the biggest mistake of their virtual lives. As the play zone constricts to a closure, you'll run into a variety of challenges that this game's desperate endgame offers. Hopefully you've scavenged enough ammo to handle your final opponents and didn't needlessly spray it at someone who wound up getting away anyway. Hopefully you don't stumble into the campsite of another lucky player who wound up there first. Most importantly, hopefully you're just faster on the trigger with a better gun than the other person. As of this edit, my best position is 9th, so a chicken dinner is still elusive. Put simply, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is a fantastic gimmick. While AAA shooters focus on providing a bunch of game modes that satisfy to varying degrees, PUBG focuses on executing its one big idea as well as possible, and it's a gamble that works. Being a successful game in early access is a huge liability as they build and improve the game. How much can you change or add without offending the throngs of millions who play or watch the game being played for countless hours daily? It's truly an innovator's dilemma for developer Bluehole, and aside from all the sales, I can't say I'm envious of what they have to do next. Even though this ride is still white hot, early, and still a little shady on the technical end, PUBG is a game you should definitely take the plunge on.
Alright, who wants an arrow dick? Anybody want an arrow dick?
Sure, man, hit me up.
Alright. There you go, it's a little lopsided, but it'll
Oh, thanks, dude.
Give me a good one, don't fuck mine up.
Alright, hold on. There you go, buddy.